viewers and my class. This is my second ever video blog. Not that I'm gonna keep count every week, but something different this week. I am going to be updating my viewers on what's going on with me, but I'm also going to be giving a class presentation. So since this is my normal blog, I decided I would do a few things this week. I need to, 1, introduce my class to my blog. Hello. And 2, I need to introduce my bloggers to the class idea. So to make this kind of fun, I'm styling my presentation after Emma Stone's character in Easy A. If you haven't seen it, it's this. Which, if you can see the glare, there we go. Emma Stone, Easy A, and she has a running commentary throughout, just kind of going along as the points come up, and that's kind of how I want to do this style presentation. It is a 5 to 7 page paper. So, a blog about a class, a middle ground, and a little paper. This is my blog. It is MadamBrown, which class that's tuning in. It used to be Madam Shiny Brown, and I used to focus on movies and games and technology, and I still kind of do that. More accent on books now. But I haven't really done that in a while. The other one, because I used the wrong email, it's like my old school, and I don't have access to it anymore. So, my class for my viewers is Library Science 502. It's on management. And this particular week, like I said, I have a paper due, and we have to do a presentation. So, that leads me to the last point. A little paper. 5 to 7 pages. Pretty little, but I'm going to try to make it as concise as possible and still communicate the ideas that are in my. That leads me to point 1. The part where I introduce my class to my blog. Just did that. And my viewers to my middle management paper. So for this paper, I pulled in a variety of sources. We read a book by Robert Stewart and Barbara Moran. This book here, Library and Information lines up for management, really everything quite easily. But for this paper, we had to define 4 things. 1, what is the middle? 2, what is middle managing? 3 was what are the challenges of middle managing? And I think 4 was what's the most important. Anyways, neither here nor there. That was just kind of like a starter idea, and that book kind of started us where we were supposed to be. And throughout the semester, we've been reading other articles to go along with the readings, and just kind of keeping in mind that the library organization, the way we're looking at it, is kind of a business. So we're looking at other businesses and what works and what doesn't work, and thinking about using those concepts for us if we were to be managers in the future. So that leads me to 2, the part where I explain the jobby pyramid and fishbowl. For my paper, I began looking at what middle management was. I started out by looking at Google to search for the middle, and it suggested anything from a TV show to a social position or a philosophical stance, and it wasn't very helpful, actually. I found that I needed to do some more searching, but in a dictionary context. So I went to dictionary.com, where they told me that the middle is, quote, equally distant from the extremes or outer limits, central, the middle point of a line, the middle singer in a trio. 2, intermediate or intervening, the middle distance. 3, medium or average, a man of middle size. 4, initial capital letter in the history of a language, so on and so forth. So in a simpler term, is neither the top nor the bottom. So the jobby pyramid would be where I kind of pulled my definition of the middle from. It's actually just the job pyramid, or the hierarchical pyramid. You have the top, which is your managers in a business. They facilitate the direction of an organization. They set the goals, they set the missions, and kind of get everything rolling. You have the middle managers, which are the people that make sure things happen that the managers told them to do. So let's use Dunkin' Donuts for reference, because you have your owners who then tell the manager what their vision of this Dunkin' is and what they need to do. After the manager, there's an assistant manager who, when the manager stepped out and the building should not be on fire, the assistant manager makes sure that a fire doesn't happen. And that leads me to the bottom of the pyramid, which is consisted of your front line, basically. Your customer service workers, your staff in the library that usually the public will see the most of. You'll probably be more likely to see the average Joe in the bottom line instead of the manager who's, again, at the top. So I use that pyramid, jobby pyramid, as part of the paper to further establish what the middle managers, how I saw them. And then I looked at fishbowl, which was kind of an interesting find. I just kind of, again, was doing a Google search. And it led me to a blog by a man named David K. Williams. And it was on the Forbes website, I think. And it was talking about how he felt an organization should run, and how they really shouldn't have managers, but they should have leaders, which seems to better suit what I think of middle management, actually, because they're not necessarily managers. They're leaders of projects, leaders of sometimes movements. So to further push my point, I'd like to quote from Williams in this article. And he says that, quote, "From the top down, every employee has the opportunity to lead," end quote. And this is me saying, and rather than having a controlling upper management, employees need to be trusted and empowered. Those being his key words that he kept reiterating throughout the article. And so he has a company called Fishbowl, and he set it up in what he called a flat hierarchy, which was that there's a clear leader of his organization, and there's people that are middle managing, and there's people working their desk jobs. And basically, he has this flat hierarchy where there's the manager, a leader, 3 pairs of teams, and the people that are just underneath. And then, so he has a policy, which is open doors, but instead of everyone in the middle that has a question when they're running something, instead of them going to him and saying, "There's this problem," he insists that they bounce ideas off each other in middle management, or middle to bottom, in this case management, that they bounce ideas off of each other first before coming to him, and when they come to him eventually, they have to have a series of scenarios in mind, and their possible outcomes. So a set of strategies to work with before they just run to him and say, "This isn't working, what do we do?" Which I think is really important for middle managers, because they're responsible for something and they know that there's someone above them, so it's very easy for someone in that position to run to the people above, and if they're worried about something not working, then they're that much more tempted. So anyways, he has other articles like that, and they're all about taking the top out of the hierarchical pyramid that I was just talking about. And so that is when I bounced into my last set of points, which is the part where I lay out the 4 pillars and the conclusion. The 4 pillars for me are pretty... They make sense. Basically, after establishing some of the challenges of the middle manager, which are anything from a community to an environment, the time period, anything like that can influence a challenge presented to a manager. But I decided that there were 4 key pieces, funnily called pillars, for this particular discussion, and they are motivation, communication, innovation, and leadership. So I then spend a little bit of time talking about what each one of these means in creating a good middle manager. Okay, so the first one is motivation, which a person looking to do middle management has to have. They have to want to be in the position. They have to want to oversee these people and be willing to take on whatever tasks or challenges that their leaders or managers give them. And so I spent some time talking about how important it was to middle manage. The second pillar is innovation, and innovation is the creative root in an establishment, and it's really important for employees to stay innovative. If they end up not liking their jobs after a while, then they kind of start to fall flat. So I decided that that was both an important pillar as well as a challenge. All 4 of these pillars are also types of challenges. I kind of blended the last 2 questions together. Communication is the third pillar, and it is probably the most important one. And you have to stay communicating between the manager, who's telling you everything that needs to get done, to the front line, who are your teams, your partners, the people that you want to get these things done. And if communication breaks down, then others might become less motivated. They might feel like they're not allowed to express their ideas, which makes them lose innovation. And if there's a lack of communication, then you could lose the goal. So that's where the 4th pillar comes in handy, which is leadership. If someone in middle management is stepping up to the plate, then people are going to hopefully be motivated, innovative, and communicative with each other. So those are kind of the 4 that wrap up my conclusion of the pillars and the conclusion of the paper, which was more or less that with the 4 pillars, I'm taking in mind some things that everyone had to say in the article that I looked at. It was important to note that a middle manager should be able to measure their workers' performance and their workers as people, and then they may be able to sift through the 4 pillars of motivation, communication, innovation, and leadership. And so that was really about it. Ben, thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions about my presentation, feel free to submit a comment on Blogger or YouTube. I'm going to upload onto Blogger, where you hopefully find this YouTube link. And I'm going to put my 5 to 7 page paper there so that you can go back and use this video in reference to the paper and kind of weave through the ideas yourself. So again, thanks for watching, and I look forward to posting my 3rd and next video blog.
stone, and I fell head